G'day football fans and welcome back to a bit of an experiment. I mean, it's something different, something we've not done before on the channel, but today we're going to be adding some superstar players to each A-league team. That's why I've got you looking at the league table here. We're just going to see how different the league shapes up. And I think in my, mind, I'm a little bit curious to see whether having like a different quality of player, a different level of superstar player in the A-league ends up making a difference to, you know, the quality of player produced from Australia, the quality of the Australian national team, that sort of thing. So I'm going to strap myself in for what will be a long one. Hopefully it's not too long for you guys. Obviously you probably already know that though, because you can see the length of the video. I'm going to be sat here a couple hours. I think it might take me a while to get through, because we're probably going to go through a number of seasons with these players. We're going to shortly take you through who we're going to assign where and how we're going to do it. Before we do that though, I'll just remind you to please leave us a like, subscribe if you're new around here, and let's get to who we're going to be assigning where. So as you see here, we have got a list of, on Football Manager, the best current rating overall, as I've got it sorted by here, players under, or 25 and under. The reason for that being that I wanted to, why is Reuben Diaz on £0 a week? I wanted to give each of these A-League teams a player that will stay around for about 10 years. So I'm going to lock them in for about 10 years to the club. So it does mean that someone will have, or our team will have a 35-year-old Jack Grealish, a 35-year-old Leroy Sané in 10 years in the future. Same with Rodri here. So it's going to be the top 12 players, which goes down to Alfonso Davies here. So Alfonso Davies up are the players we are going to be assigning to A-League clubs. The way that we're going to do this assigning, well, I mean, it isn't YouTube, really, if there isn't a wheel involved. So we're going to be spinning a wheel. Every time it lands on a team, we're going to take that team off. So no team is going to have two superstars or best up-and-coming young players in the world added to their team. It's going to be one each. So really, it's the Mbappe or Haaland sweepstakes, I suppose. I mean, going by the current ratings, that's the way you'd want it to go, but I don't know, maybe you think having Reuben Diaz on your team might be a better way to set up the team. Maybe you want a midfielder like a Rodri or like a Frenkie de Jong, something like that. I'm not sure. We're going to find out today though. We're going to find out. I did just randomly assign, or just went down the list of A-League clubs. I think I went down last year's table. That's how it's in this order, starting from, was it Melbourne City, and then Victory, Western United, Adelaide, going around anti-clockwise there? Maybe? I'm not sure. But it's just kind of funny to me that like Perth ended up with coloured purple, Adelaide, no, not Adelaide, Central Coast ended up being yellow, Western United were green? Is that, am I wrong? Yeah, it's Western United. I was confused there. I thought it might have been Macarthur. Anyway, what we're going to do is we're going to go backwards through the order. So we are going to first be assigning Alfonso Davies, then we're going to go down up the list, I suppose, all the way until there's two people left, or two teams left, and it's going to be who's getting Haaland, who's getting Mbappe. Without further ado, which lucky team is getting Alfonso Davies for the next 10 years? Spinning our wheel, here we go. It's the Perth Glory. Interesting one. I mean, Alfonso Davies is an interesting one to me because I think he's someone that you can play in a number of positions. Like he can, obviously he's a great left back for Bayern Munich. He can obviously play on the wing, but I mean, with the A-League, maybe you'd want to chuck him in midfield. I'm not sure. I guess we'll find out. We'll see how they go with him. Next is the sweepstakes for Nico Barrella from Inter Milan. He's an absolute stud. I absolutely love watching him play. I do try and watch as much Italian football as I can. It doesn't really work out too well. Being in Australia, the timing is just not great, you know, and having to work full time, it doesn't work out. But from what I have seen, I do really, really rate him. I really like him, his work rate, his technique, all of that things. I think he could make a huge difference for an A-League club. Let's see who he'll make that difference for. The Nico Barrella sweepstakes. Who is it going to be? It's Western United. Western United get Nico Barrella as their midfield general for the next 10 years, I suppose. Next on the list is Frenkie de Jong. He wants to go to Manchester United, but instead he's going to the A-League. He's heading down under. He is going to be the midfield. I mean, the midfield. I mean, he's going to be, really making the whole team work, isn't he? He's going to be the playmaker for which A-League team? It's for the Central Coast Mariners. Basically, basically the Manchester United of the A-League. And as this goes on, as a Brisbane fan, or a Brisbane local, it's looking better and better for us, I suppose. Hopefully getting back to those glory days of the Ange Postecoglou era. Although maybe not, because I mean, every team's going to have a better player. Anyway, let's move on. Next on the list is future Chelsea captain, Mason Mount. Where will he be going? Looking at this, I'm going to say he's going to Sydney FC. Let's have a go. Let's see who he's off to. He's going to Melbourne City. Interesting one. That's probably a really good choice. I mean, a good move for Melbourne City to have a great creative midfielder coming through with the front line that they currently have. I think it's Andrew Naboo, Jamie McLaren, and someone else on the left that I can't remember. Matt Leckie. How did I forget Matt Leckie? So, I mean, having a Mason Mount in behind them to feed them through balls and taking care of the set pieces, all that might be a way to, who knows how many titles. Next on the list is Rodri, Manchester City holding midfielder. He was absolutely sensational last season. Did not get the credit I thought he deserved for how absolutely outstanding he was. Perhaps, I mean, maybe one of the most understated ones on this list. Like he's a midfielder, a holding midfielder. He's not going to go scoring, 20 goals a season, though he did score some absolute bangers last season, to be fair to him. But I don't know, maybe having that, solid base of a midfield will be what teams in the A-League, or whatever team gets him, is able to build off. Let's see. Getting Rodri at the base of the midfield for the next 10 years will be Macarthur FC. Not a team I know a whole lot about. I haven't been the biggest A-League fan the last couple of years. I've been terrible, and it's been, hard to watch in general. No, that's not fair. I'm just lazy. Let's be honest. I've been doing other things. Rodri will be playing for Macarthur FC. He'll be bolstering that midfield, hopefully making a huge difference, because as a Manchester City fan, I want to see him do great things. Next on the list is Lautaro Martinez. I might have cut myself off here mid-sentence, but I just noticed that I hadn't added the Newcastle Jets to the list, so they've just got to pass into the top 7, I suppose, of the quality of players. So, apologies to Perth, Western United, Central Coast, Melbourne City, and Macarthur fans, but Newcastle Jets, 100% just slipped my mind. It's not a favoritism or anything like that. It's the opposite. But they've been added to the list now, so they are in the sweepstakes for Lautaro Martinez, the diminutive Argentine striker for Inter Milan. A couple of Inter Milan players on this list, which is pretty impressive. But we will see who gets Lautaro, who benefits from his goal-scoring prowess, and I guess he's probably going to make those around him or up front next to him better too, with his, I guess, creativity alongside his goal-scoring. Who will get him though? Lautaro Martinez is going to Adelaide United. So Craig Goodwin will be firing those crosses in with his left foot into Lautaro Martinez for, I think Craig Goodwin just signed a deal. Maybe I read that wrong. I swear I just saw that he signed like a 3-year deal. But he will be benefiting from having Lautaro Martinez up front ahead of him for the next 10 years. Next on the list is Vinicius Jr. from Real Madrid, the Champions League winner, the absolute stud, the Brazilian left winger, ready to take the A-League by storm. He's another one that I think that you could play in a number of positions. They're all forward positions though, so it's maybe a little bit boring compared to Alfonso Davies. But Vinny Jr., I suppose with the A-League, you could sort of play him obviously on the left wing, but you could also make him more central in a number 9 or number 10 role and just sort of see what you get out of him, I suppose. See how he links things up. I'd be probably more likely to play him as a number 10, I suppose, just because then he can link up with more people around him, I suppose, rather than sticking him out on the left and, I guess, making him less useful out there. I don't know. Maybe I'm thinking too much into it. I don't know who gets him though. Let's see. Getting Vinny Jr. will be the Newcastle Jets. They only last 2 rounds, but they do end up with Vinicius Jr. Next on the list, and this is one that, I was surprised that he was this high, like above some of the players we've just been through. We've gone through Nico Barrella, De Jong, Mount, Rodri, Martinez, Vinny Jr., Alfonso Davies, and we're about to do Jack Grealish. Maybe I'm just like a bit miffed that he didn't play well for City last year and I'm thinking less of him, but to see him ahead of players like Vinny Jr. and even Rodri, it doesn't really sit well with me. It will sit right with me. Anyway, but he's one of the eldest of this group, alongside Sane and Rodri, so one that will, I guess, deteriorate quicker than a few of the rest of them. It will be interesting though, because I guess he'll be one of the ones that is closest to his absolute prime to see what he can do with the club. Another player that can probably play off the left-handed through the middle. Again, like with Vinny, I'd probably want to play him through the middle for wherever he goes, but it will be interesting to see where he takes this club. Who is he going to? Jack Grealish is heading to Western Sydney Wanderers. Not sure he's exactly the Western Sydney Wanderer type player, but maybe I'm again thinking too much into it and he's going to be absolutely incredible. We will see. Right, down to the final four. The players to go are Leroy Sane, Reuben Diaz, Haaland and Mbappe. First to head off the list will be Leroy Sane, the wide man playing for Bayern Munich. Can go off either side and can probably play up front too. I guess we'll see how he goes. Who is getting Leroy Sane? The German Tommy Orr is heading to Wellington Phoenix. I don't think anyone has ever called anyone the something Tommy Orr, but he is the German Tommy Orr. He is heading across the ditch. What's the saying? Over the ditch? What? Why can't I think of Australians? Why can't I think of sayings or idioms or... Anyway, Leroy Sane is heading to the Knicks, and he's going to make just an absolute killing in New Zealand, isn't he? I'm going to also have to change their wages for like every one of these players, because they're going to just completely ruin the, I guess, A-League salary cap. Though, I mean, they are all definitely a marquee signing for all these clubs. Isn't it funny that after all this, we've got like the 3 most successful teams left to go? Is that weird? Does this website know what I'm doing? Anyway, next on the list is Reuben Diaz, and this is one that I think would be very interesting to have a centre-back be your best, like clear and away, far and away best player at an A-League club. It'll be interesting to see how they go, whether it'll be, you know, these players like the 2 next ones, Haaland and Mbappe, scoring tons and tons of goals until they come up against Reuben Diaz. I mean, we'll see. Where does Reuben Diaz go? He is headed to the Brisbane Roar. I have always thought of him as the Portuguese Matt Smith, so I am very happy that he's headed to Brisbane Roar to recreate the Ange Postecoglou unbeaten run. What was it, 36 games I want to say? Maybe that was the record and they got above that. I don't remember. I remember them losing though. I think it was away to Sydney at some weird ground and it was windy. Anyway, Reuben Diaz is heading to the Brisbane Roar, heading up to Queensland to join me here. We're going to hang out. Reuben's going to be my best mate. Anyway, it is now the Mbappe and Haaland sweepstakes. Of course it had to be between Melbourne Victory and Sydney FC. I almost want to restart this whole thing just so it's not them. Because I feel like they're, they're supposed to be the 2 biggest clubs in the thing. And I don't want them getting the 2 best players. It seems a bit gross. I don't know. I'm not super into it. So we're going to spin the wheel one last time. The team it lands on will be getting Erling Haaland, meaning the other team gets Kylian Mbappe. So I mean, there's no loser here. There is absolutely no loser. Both sides are absolutely set, and it's Melbourne Victory getting Erling Haaland, and it is Sydney FC getting Kylian Mbappe. That is our 12 players. That is 1 player to each A-League club. I'm going to put in a little bit of background work now, and I'll skip you ahead to this when we're about to start the season with Davies at Perth Glory, Alfonso Davies at Perth Glory, Nico Barrella at Western United, Frankie de Jong at Central Coast, Mason Mount at Melbourne City, Rodri at Macarthur FC, Lautaro Martinez at Adelaide United, Vinny Jr. at Newcastle Jets, Jack Grealish at Western Sydney Wanderers, Leroy Sane at the Wellington Phoenix, Reuben Diaz at the Brisbane Roar, Erling Haaland at Melbourne Victory, and Kylian Mbappe at Sydney FC. Let's do it! Welcome back then. After some tinkering, some creative work, we are here ready to go through to the A-League season. We've got our players at their teams. If we head through to the season preview, you can see just about all of them are in the Media Dream 11. Who's missing? No Vinny Jr., no Haaland, De Jong's in defence, no Lautaro Martinez. I mean, I guess that makes sense because we don't have a goalkeeper or a right back, and there's only 1 striker position is the thing. Anyway, they've got Sydney FC as the favourites. I guess that's probably the case with Mbappe up front. I guess it probably makes sense, doesn't it? I have gone through and added all of them. The way that I'm keeping them at the club is I've given them a future transfer So Mbappe, I mean, Real Madrid are finally getting their man with Mbappe in, and I've gone with 2035, so 14 years from now. Erling Haaland will be joining Bayern Munich. Reuben Diaz will be going to Real Madrid as well, apparently. Leroy Sané is going to Inter Miami. There was no real rhyme or reason to a lot of these. I mean, he's joining Birmingham because I thought it'd be funny to see him go from Aston Villa to Birmingham. Vinny Jr.'s going to... I went to write Santos to send him back to, you know, oh no, he's from Flamengo. Oh, I was completely wrong. I was thinking Neymar. But anyway, he's going to the San Jose Earthquakes. Lautaro Martinez will be joining PSG at the age of, what will be in 14 years? Quick maths. At 38, he'll be going to PSG, so that's good. Rodri at the age of, what'll he be by then? Oh, almost 40. He'll be 39. He'll be going to Las Palmas. And I mean, I just wanted him to go on holiday. I thought he deserved a nice trip. Frankie de Jong will be heading back home. He'll be going back to Ajax. Mason Mount will be going to Derby, going home again as well. Barrella, I think I sent him to AC Milan. Yep, he's going to AC Milan. And Alfonso Davies, Spurs. I'm really not sure why. I'm not sure what the rhyme or reason was there. Here's my social feed, so that's good. My mate David Robinson, my personal assistant, he's a good bloke. So, I mean, I think, what should we do next? Before we, can we look at how they're lining up? Yes, that's the stuff. I mean, he's currently away on, it's the World Cup, isn't it? No, it's not the World Cup. The World Cup's in 22. I'm an idiot. He's away on international duty though. But this is how City FC are lining up with Mbappe up front next to Adam Lafondra. Quite a good lineup for A-League standards too. I was thinking the other day about James Sunderky. I really liked him when he broke through at Brisbane, to be honest. Who's next? Melbourne City, how are they lining up? They're playing a 4-4-2. They don't have Lecky or Naboo on the field. That's interesting. They're also playing Mason Mount as a left wing, or left midfielder in a 4-4-2. I'm really hoping some of these change, to be honest, so far. Melbourne Victory, who've they got? Who'd they get again? They got Erling Haaland and he's injured. Oh, I should have cleared his injury. Oh well, they've got 10 years of him, so he'll be fine. Next, Perth Glory, they've got Alfonso Davies, and he's playing left midfield. I guess that's like what I said. They've also got Daniel Sturridge, who maybe in this universe will actually play some football for them. Next, Macarthur got Rodri. So this looks pretty good. Tommy Orr, the Australian Leroy Sané, with Tommy Juric up front. I mean, this looks quite good, doesn't it? I guess that might have been somewhere that they needed someone, especially someone of his quality as well. Next, Western Sydney, how are they looking like they're lining up? They are lining up without Jack Grealish. He doesn't say why. They've just decided he's not going to play. He's played in the FA Cup and he's played for England as well, so that's good. Glad he's still getting his call up. But I don't know why they're not playing him. Maybe he's only just got back from international duty. Let's go with that. Where are we up to? Western Sydney United. How are they lining up? They are lining up with Barrella in central midfield next to Crin. I don't know how to say his name, but Rene Crin it'll do. It completely changes the outlook of a team when you have someone like Nico Barrella in your midfield, in my opinion. Adelaide United, well, they've got Martinez up front. I guess that's probably not a great thing with... Where is he? I guess maybe he's in their youth squad, that young striker fella they have. Oh, what's his name? I can't remember his bloody name. Who am I bloody thinking of? Kazini Yengi. That's who I was thinking of. Sorry, everyone. Sorry about that. Who's next? Brisbane Roar with, I'm assuming Diaz in defence, hopefully. Yep, next to Tommy Aldred. I mean, that doesn't look too bad, does it? I mean, they could still probably do with Charlie Austin up front, which I guess that's something they can look at next season. Wellington Phoenix with Leroy Sané on the left. Nothing too interesting there, I suppose. Newcastle Jets. Who did they bloody get again? They got Vinny. That already just, I mean, I don't really know too much about many of these other guys, but already with having Vinny Jr. on your left wing, I mean, you're pretty guaranteed goals. And apparently, going to come last will be, or predicted to come last, will be Frankie de Jong and the Central Coast Mariners. I just got so confused. I had no idea where he was. He's playing left wing back for them. I suppose he could probably do any job for them. At this point, just looking at it, I'm actually going to tip Melbourne City to do really well. I think Melbourne City will probably jump Sydney FC and take it, but I could be completely wrong. We will see. I'm going to skip forward to the end of this season, and we'll see who's come out on top, how these players perform. Alright, so after what feels like an age for me, but has been absolute just moments for you, we are just about at the end of the A-League season here. I thought I would stop us just before the finals so we can, see who goes up against who, see who the winners and losers are, all of that good stuff. Looking at the league table, there is just the one game to go. It's inconsequential, really, in the grand scheme of things. It's Macarthur versus Newcastle. I don't know why it doesn't have who's going to the finals out of these two. I don't know if they're going to playoff or something, but I mean, it very much looks like Western United there. I mean, first thing we'll notice is that Perth Glory are actually on top, which I wouldn't have picked, but I guess if we look at the player of the matches, Alfonso Davies being right up there, maybe makes sense of it. Let's look first at the average ratings. Leading the league in average rating is Erling Haaland. He did only play 10 appearances for Melbourne Victory, but he is right up on top of that, and he is by some distance as well. You will notice that there's only 11, the top 11 are our superstar players, ending with Mason Mount down the bottom. But even in the top 20, one player is out of it, and that's actually Lautaro Martinez. He only had an average rating of 7.02 in the A-League. So, grand scheme of things, he's only 0.11 out of it, but, he's out of it all the same. the other 11 players fulfilled their end of the bargain. As for goal scoring, Kylian Mbappe was out on front with 18. I was looking at Leroy Sané with 18. Daniel Sturridge actually got 15 goals, which is incredible considering he didn't get one IRL. Andy Keogh got himself 12 goals, which I guess those two being up there may explain to some degree anyway why Perth Glory are where they are. Lautaro got 11 goals in 20 appearances. Sané got 10 as we go down. Vinicius got 9. Erling Haaland 8. 8 in 10 appearances is pretty damn good. Minutes per goal, Erling Haaland looks brilliant, doesn't he? He is going to make a huge difference next season, I feel, when he's, hopefully for Melbourne Victory's sake, fully fit, ready to go, and continuing to fire like he has been, with 8 goals from 22 shots on target. As for assists, Frenkie de Jong and Vinicius are up on top. Jack Grealish not far behind. Sane, Barrella, Rodri, Ryan Grant, of course. Erling Haaland is also there with 5. So he got 8 goals? 9 goals and 5 assists in his 10 appearances. He was pretty good, wasn't he? Let's have a look. 7.87 in his 10 appearances, 13 goal involvements. He's pretty unreal. He's pretty good. Anyone else of note? No, nothing really there. Reuben Diaz is the best passer in the league, though he didn't get an assist. How did he play all up? Look, he was pretty decent, wasn't he? The stats speak for themselves, and Brisbane Roar being where they are in the A-League. How do we get back to the A-League? Here we go. Brisbane Roar being up in 5th, where in real life I think they finished second last, in this 10, 11, 12 region anyway. Sort of speaks for itself. Western Sydney going to the bottom doesn't sound great. Who was their superstar again? That's Jack Grealish's team. So I did say before the video started that I thought he was sort of the least talented of the group, perhaps. So I guess not an incredible surprise that he's down there. But I suppose in reality you can't really blame him. He did his job. He has been incredible for them. Second last, Central Coast Mariners, which they had Frenkie de Jong, who did they end up playing him in midfield most? Where can we see? Here we go. Yep, they did end up playing him in midfield, thankfully, so he did play all but one of his appearances from midfield. He had a great season, really. He's not too familiar with the way that they're playing, so perhaps it's a bad fit rather than him playing badly. As for Melbourne City, how'd they go? They had Mason Mount, and Mason Mount had quite a good season, didn't he? The numbers probably don't speak for it. He definitely should have scored more goals than he did, but his average rating was brilliant. So all in all, he was pretty outstanding. I don't know why his value is so low, but it is what it is. Who really knows? Get away. Something I did want to check earlier, and I didn't really look at, was Australia's world ranking. You can see they're down in 33rd. Not sure that's changed really, but I did just want to keep track of that because, I'm curious to see whether, if Australia has these superstar players playing there, and contributing to the league. Whether it starts to produce better players for the nation, I'm not sure if Football Manager works that way. It's just something I wanted to keep a little bit of an eye on. If it doesn't make too much of a difference, I won't harp on too much about it. I'll just sort of glance over it towards the end of the video maybe. I'm not expecting exactly miracles out of it, but to see them jump to some degree, I'd love for them to be in this sort of 10 to 15 sort of range around Mexico, Colombia, Denmark, that sort of ilk of team. Although you'd think that... Anyway, some of those teams seems a bit weird. I'd love to see Australia jump up in that group, but who knows, maybe it'll make a slight difference, maybe it won't make any difference at all. Who bloody knows? Erling Haaland less good than Australia, so I guess that confirms who's Australia's starting striker. Tommy Juric better than... Denny Juric, sorry, not Tommy. Denny Juric is better than Erling Haaland. You heard it here, folks. In other fantastic news for Australian football, Harry Souttar is wanted by Burnley. So, I mean, that's something to look forward to. Hopefully that happens. You'd just absolutely love to see it. Anyway, enough yammering on. Let's get through to the finals. Can we... How do I... maybe I need to wait for the season to end first. I'll wait for the season to end first, and then we will jump through to the finals. So, our first final this year will be Sydney FC, so Kylian Mbappe versus Reuben Diaz and Brisbane Roar. There's then also Melbourne Victory versus West United, which is Erling Haaland versus... I can't remember. I'm sorry. I'm horrible. I know. It's Nico Barrella, who's injured. He's out for the finals. Even if they get through this, he doesn't look like he'll be returning. Oh, he might return within a couple of weeks. So maybe he does make the finals if they get through. No, it does say attending here, but I'm not going to make you guys sit here and watch that. We've got a lot to cover. I'm just going to attend so that I can make sure I do not miss anything that happens, basically. So Mbappe it is that goes through. He didn't have anything to say, though. I suppose neither really did Reuben Diaz, who didn't end up contributing much. So Sydney FC pushed through. Next game, as we said, is Nico Barrella missing out as his side take on Erling Haaland and Melbourne Victory. We'll see who goes through on that one. And it is Melbourne Victory and Erling Haaland heading through. This time, Erling Haaland scores a hat-trick to send Melbourne Victory through to a semi-final against Alfonso Davies and the Perth Glory. The other semi-final will be Mason Mount's Melbourne City versus Erling Haaland? No, Kylian Mbappe and Sydney FC. Isn't it great to see someone named Macarthur getting a goal, or getting on the score sheet there? We will now skip through. I think I'll just skip through to the actual final, to be completely honest with you, because, look, I want to keep going with this, and don't really want to stick around here forever. So we'll skip through to see who wins the first one, and then I think from there we'll just skip through to this point every season. Here we go then, Season 1, grand final time. It is my pre-season favourites, Melbourne City and Mason Mount, heading up against Perth Glory and Alfonso Davies. Who gets them over the line? Let's see. It is the main man, Mason Mount, with a penalty in the 25th minute, giving Melbourne City the win, giving them the A-League title. And if we head to his career milestones, here you go. Mason Mount, Isuzu Ute A-League Final Series champion. Just what you want to see on your biography. What more could you want? So as a whole, I mean, perhaps a little bit underwhelming, I suppose. I mean, I definitely expected, more of our players to be at the top here. But perhaps with Erling Haaland being injured for the first half of the season, that explains it. But, I mean, Mbappe only scoring 19 in 27 A-League games. It seems rough, but I guess maybe he's just not getting the service. I don't know. Maybe I'm reading too much into that. And then I guess with assists, I also thought I'd see Mason Mount in here, but he's not even his club's best. Pucciarelli's doing that job. I don't know. Again, maybe I'm reading too much into it. This time, I'm going to skip forward another year, see what happens in the second year, and then after that, we'll just go a few years at a time, I think. All right, gentlemen, Season 2 has wrapped. You can see here, it is a complete reverse. Sydney FC are down the bottom now that's Kylian Mbappe's side down the bottom. I'm not entirely sure what's gone on there. We will find out, though. We'll have a bit of a look around. I mean, goal-scoring-wise, Erling Haaland absolutely killed it. So did Lautaro. then for some reason it's Pucarelli before Grealish or Vinny or Leroy Sane, any of them. Where's Kylian Mbappe gone? Can we see what's happened to Kylian Mbappe? Why is he... We've run into an issue here. Kylian Mbappe hasn't played a single game for Sydney FC this season because he hasn't got a work permit. How do we make that happen? What can I do now? Well that sucks. How can I god dang fix that? Oh yeah, there's my manager. His name's Carl McDuck, just by the way. What am I going to do about that? Anyway, Australia have stayed 33rd in the world rankings. I mean, man, I'm pissed now. How do I find the bloody World Cup? Because the World Cup's gone on. England won the bloody World Cup. So in extra time, they beat Spain 1-0. It was Western Sydney Wanderer Jack Grealish getting the winning goal there. How do I fix this mess now? Let's bloody go all the way back to the A-League. Has anyone else buggered off? 1, 2, 3. Anyway, we have to just press on. I mean, sort of ruins things, doesn't it? I'll have to find a way around it. I don't know. I'll keep trying things. But firstly, Lautaro Martinez had a good season. 13 goals for him. Possibly could have done even better, really. Only got the one player of the match, which seems a bit slack, considering like he'd definitely be their best player. Jack Grealish, again, pretty good season. Can't really complain. You'd hope for more assists out of him, but I mean, he scored a World Cup winning goal, so I don't think he's too mad, to be completely honest with you. Who's next? Mason Mount. How'd he go? Awful. What is that? 2 goals, 1 assist in 21 games. Mason Mount, what are you doing? Mate, I don't know what's gone on there, but I think what we're finding out is that it doesn't matter how good you are, you come to the A-League, you're not going to absolutely kill it. Alfonso Davies, great rating. He's only got 5 assists in 25 games. It doesn't seem that outstanding. Who's next? Frankie de Jong. Frankie... I mean, depending on where you're playing him, that could be good, that could be bad. The XG makes it seem like he's not playing fantastically, but I mean, average rating's decent enough. Leroy Sane's had a great season. 18 goal involvements in 25 games. Pretty good. Again, you might have wanted another goal or 2 from him, but I mean, it is what it is. Reuben Diaz, he's basically on par with last season, isn't he? He's better than last season, in fact. Wow, what a player! What an absolute stud. Next, Nico Barrella. I definitely skipped over someone. Nico Barrella, very good. Very, very good season. Again, the numbers just don't really seem to stick out to me. I don't know. Maybe I'm reading too much into them. See, like, how has Rodri got 11 assists, but, like, Nico Barella's got 6? What's happened? And Alfonso Davies got 5 assists. I don't understand. Vinny Jr., 9 goals, 4 assists. This is really proven that the A-League is actually god tier. Except for Erling Haaland, who's just absolute different gravy. He's 31 goals and 37 appearances for Melbourne. He's taken them to the final this year against Mason Mount. And then there's the curious case of Kylian Mbappe, who, I don't know. How do I get him? I'll have to think about that one. Anyway, doesn't matter too much for right now. I'll get us through to the final. Melbourne City versus Melbourne Victory. Alright, I'm not going to stick around and watch the entire match, but I'll come back if there's anything that I think we need to cover, I guess. Here's Mason Mount on the ball early, putting the ball out for a throw. Is he playing down to the level, sort of thing? With all due respect, is he playing down to the level? So we've got the 2 lineups here, so we can see how our 2 superstars play. We've got a Mazzala Mount, and why can't we tell... why can we see what roles they're playing? Anyway, you can see what roles the City players are playing, but not the Victory, which is a bit weird. But we've got a highlight here. Will Mason Mount have any say in this one? It's McLaren playing it out to whoever Brown might be, playing it back to McLaren. McLaren finds Curtis Good. Good finds Mount. Key pass that one. Playing it back to Bailey Wright in centre back. Potentially building something here though. Here's Jason Guerrier. It's a penalty. Will this be a Mason Mount? I'm sure the last final was decided by a Mason Mount penalty. Is it legitimately going to happen again? I might delete this video and never release it if that happens. You're absolutely joking me. It's Mason Mount from the penalty spot in the A-League final again. Saved. It's saved by Matt Acton. Double save and cleared up towards Erling Haaland, who's actually injured, I think I just saw. So he's not having the best time of it. You see, yeah, if you look here, he's struggling. Oh, here we go. He's playing as an advanced forward. There we go. Now we know. Coming up to half-time. Will we get anything else? Mount finds McLaren, who finds the back of the net. It is a goal. It is an assist for Mason Mount in the final. Bit unorthodox, the goal here. I don't know who Brown is. I can't remember. I have no idea. But Pepper gives it to Mount, finds McLaren in the box. Bit unorthodox, sort of a cross from straight ahead rather than out wide, but finds the back of the net, and that's what counts, I suppose. They've even taken off, Melbourne Victory have just taken off Erling Haaland at half-time. Mason Mount looks underdone as well. You can see he looks a bit tired. He's just come off, in fact, so, I mean, what's the point in even watching anymore? So in the end, it was Melbourne City again winning the title. I think that's 2 years in a row. Yeah, A-League finals. There we go. I was very confused for a second there. So it's Melbourne City winning back-to-back. They were also the best team in the regular season. Mason Mount doing the business. That is where we'll leave it for this video though. So guys, remember to please leave us a like down below. Subscribe if you're new. There will be a part 2 to this video. So, I mean, I'll probably jump about 3 years into the future and let you know what happens. And from there, I guess we'll see who makes the biggest difference, who can start to make a difference to Australian football. See how we go. And guys, until next time, when we go again to see who the best young superstar in the world is. Peace.